The first person to change was a cashier in a small grocery store. A customer yelled at her over the price of a bottle of water. She raised her hand. Every glass bottle in the store shattered at once. 30 minutes later, a man stepped in front of a moving bus. The bus hit him at full speed. The front of the bus collapsed. The man didn't move. By sunset, videos were appearing everywhere. A child floating above her backyard. A construction worker lifting a truck. A woman walking through the locked door of a bank. Nobody understood what was happening. But every person in the videos had one thing in common. They had all drunk water from the same city supply. Ethan watches the videos from his apartment. A news reporter appears on his television. Officials are investigating a chemical spill discovered inside the East River water treatment facility. The reporter says the contamination is not believed to be dangerous. Ethan looks at the glass of water in his hand. It is already empty. The lights in his apartment flicker. The glass slips from his fingers. Before it hits the floor, everything stops. The glass hangs in the air. A fly freezes beside the window. Outside, a car remains suspended halfway through a turn. Ethan stares around the silent room. Then time suddenly returns. The glass shatters. Ethan whispers, "What just happened?" By the next morning, the city is unrecognizable. Thousands of people have developed abilities, but every person only has one. Some can control fire. Some can hear conversations from miles away. Some can become invisible. Others have strange abilities that seem almost useless. One man can change the color of anything he touches. Another can make plants grow instantly. People flood the streets to test what they can do. Videos go viral. Businesses offer jobs based on abilities. Criminals begin using their powers to rob stores. Neighborhoods form groups to protect themselves. The government tells everyone to remain calm, but nobody listens. Ethan walks through the crowded streets with his hood pulled over his head. He still isn't sure what his power is. At a street crossing, a speeding car loses control. It flies toward a group of pedestrians. Ethan raises his hands instinctively. The car stops in midair. Everyone stares. Ethan slowly lowers it to the ground. A woman begins recording him. "You have telekinesis." Before Ethan can answer, a nearby electrical box explodes. A wave of electricity races toward him. The current hits his chest. Instead of killing him, the electricity disappears into his body. Blue energy moves beneath his skin. The crowd steps back. Someone whispers, "That's two powers." Ethan runs. That night, Ethan locks himself inside his apartment. He tests what he can do. He lifts furniture without touching it. He creates electricity between his fingers. When he cuts his hand, the wound heals within seconds. He tries to understand why he is different. Everyone else received one power. Ethan appears to have several. A knock comes from the front door. Ethan remains silent. Then a woman's voice speaks from the hallway. "Ethan Cole, we know you're inside." The door unlocks by itself. 3 people enter wearing dark gray uniforms. No badges. No visible weapons. Their leader is a woman named Director Mara Voss. She places a black folder on Ethan's table. On the front is a silver symbol, shaped like an eye inside a shield. Bureau of Anomalous Threats. Ethan looks at her. "I've never heard of you." "You weren't supposed to." She explains that B.A.T investigates events that cannot be publicly explained. Unidentified technology, biological anomalies, objects that should not exist. The chemical spill is their newest case. Ethan asks why they came to him. Voss opens the folder. Inside are photographs of Ethan using several different powers. Everyone affected by the water has one genetic mutation. She points to Ethan's picture. "You have at least 6. Voss takes Ethan to a hidden command center beneath an abandoned courthouse. Large screens show incidents happening across the city. Powered criminals attack police stations. Fires burn through neighborhoods. A man with super speed steals military equipment. A woman who can control emotions has gathered hundreds of followers around herself. Voss explains that the city has less than 48 hours before complete collapse. Ethan asks why the military hasn't entered. Because half the soldiers stationed nearby drank the same water. She shows him security footage from the water treatment facility. A tanker arrived there 3 nights before the spill. A masked person entered the facility carrying a silver container. The footage cuts out for 11 minutes. When it returns, the tanker is gone. This wasn't an accident, Voss says. Someone intentionally placed the chemical into the water. B.A.T has created a reversal compound, a clear potion capable of removing the mutations and returning people to normal. But there is a problem. The main ingredient was stolen. Without it, the potion cannot be completed. Ethan looks at the screen. Who stole it? Voss changes the footage. A man stands inside a ruined laboratory surrounded by floating pieces of metal. His name is Draven Vale. Before the spill, Vale was a chemical engineer who worked at the treatment facility. Now he can manipulate metal. He has turned an abandoned steel factory into a fortress. Voss looks at Ethan. We need you to retrieve the missing compound. Ethan refuses at first. He tells Voss he doesn't know how to control his abilities. She tells him that no ordinary agent can approach Vale. The factory is surrounded by twisted metal walls. Drones are ripped from the sky. Vehicles are crushed before reaching the entrance. Ethan is their only option. Before leaving, Voss gives him a small black device. If the mission fails, press this. What does it do? She pauses. It destroys the compound. Ethan realizes B.A.T would rather eliminate the cure than allow Vale to use it. He enters the factory alone. The inside is completely silent. Bent pipes hang from the ceiling. Thousands of metal fragments float in the air. Ethan hears Vale's voice through the darkness. I was wondering when they would send you. Ethan stops. You know who I am. Vale steps into the light. His eyes reflect silver. I know what you are. Vale explains that the chemical does not create random powers. It reacts to something already hidden inside each person. Fear, desire, instinct. The cashier who broke the bottles had spent her life feeling powerless. The man struck by the bus had always feared death. The chemical transformed their deepest need into an ability. Ethan asks why he received multiple powers. Vale smiles. That is the question B.A.T does not want you asking. He throws a metal beam toward Ethan. Ethan teleports without knowing how. The beam crashes through the wall behind him. Vale launches hundreds of sharp metal fragments. Ethan freezes time. He moves between them while everything remains still. But as he reaches Vale, time starts again. Vale strikes him across the room. Ethan's bones crack, then immediately heal. Vale watches with fascination. You're not reacting to the chemical. You're adapting to danger. Every time Ethan faces a new threat, his body creates the exact ability needed to survive it. Vale tells him the spill was designed to locate someone like him. Ethan was not an accident. He was the target. Vale reveals the stolen ingredient inside a glass cylinder. He says the reversal potion will not simply remove people's powers. It will permanently prevent their bodies from ever developing them again. B.A.T plans to release it into the city's water supply without asking anyone. Ethan accuses Vale of causing the spill. Vale denies it. He says he helped create the chemical, but someone inside B.A.T ordered it released. They wanted to create powered soldiers. Vale points toward Ethan, but then they found something better. Ethan looks at the communication device Voss gave him. It has been transmitting the entire conversation. Voss speaks through it. Do not listen to him. Retrieve the compound. Vale lifts the building's metal supports from the floor. The factory begins collapsing. Ethan uses telekinesis to hold the ceiling. Electricity bursts from his body. He throws Vale backward. Vale sends a metal spike toward Ethan's chest. Ethan catches it with his bare hand. For one moment, Ethan's eyes turn silver. The metal melts. Vale stares at him. You copied my power. Ethan realizes he does not only develop abilities, he can absorb them. Ethan takes the missing compound and escapes the collapsing factory. B.A.T agents surround him outside. Director Voss holds out her hand. Give it to me. Ethan asks whether B.A.T caused the spill. Voss does not answer. That is enough. Agents aim weapons at Ethan. Voss tells him the city needs to return to normal. Ethan says the people deserve to know what happened. Voss replies, people do not want truth. They want safety. She activates the black device. Ethan feels his powers weakening. The device was never designed to destroy the compound. It was designed to neutralize Ethan. He falls to his knees. Voss takes the cylinder from him. Behind her, one of the agents begins shaking. His skin turns to stone. Another agent suddenly becomes invisible. Voss looks around in confusion. Ethan realizes the agency's bottled water came from the city. The agents are changing. Chaos erupts. Ethan forces himself to stand. His body adapts. The neutralizing signal stops affecting him. He teleports forward and takes back the compound. Then he disappears. Ethan reaches the water treatment facility. The completed reversal potion is waiting inside a large containment system. One dose can spread through the entire city. Outside, powered citizens fight in the streets. Buildings burn. People scream. Ethan holds the missing ingredient above the machine. Voss arrives behind him. If you complete it, everyone returns to normal. Ethan asks, and what happens to me? Voss looks at him. We don't know. Ethan understands that the potion could remove his powers, or kill him. Vale's voice comes from the shadows. He survived the factory. Destroy it, Vale says. This is the next stage of humanity. Voss raises her weapon. Complete it. Ethan stands between them. One wants a world controlled by superpowered people. The other wants a world controlled by the agency. Ethan chooses neither. He pours the ingredient into the machine. The reversal potion enters the city's water system. Across the city, powers begin disappearing. Fires collapse. Floating people fall safely to the ground. Stone's skin becomes human again. The city grows quiet. Ethan waits. The electricity leaves his hands. His wounds stop healing. He appears normal. Voss approaches him. It's over. Ethan looks at his reflection in the water. For a moment, nothing happens. Then his reflection smiles, even though Ethan doesn't. The lights inside the facility shut off. When they return, Ethan is gone. Voss looks down. The metal floor beneath her feet begins slowly bending.